right, great day to be a Razorback, and appreciate y'all coming out. I want to first start off with, thanking our fans that were in attendance from the hog walk all the way through into the game. The atmosphere was electric. They definitely brought the energy. They set the expectations high. Walking through the suites before we entered the field, I mean, it was just it was surreal. Very special time. Not just for this football team, but this state, this university, and to come out and to go 1-0, to get our first win in this stadium was a special day. After viewing the film, good news is that we got a lot of improving to do. That's the great news, and there was plenty of mistakes to correct. Some of those were I want to credit Coach Dameron and his ball club. They played well. They played as a team that had nothing to lose, to come out here and turn it loose, and they did that, and they did some really good things. And but after watching the video, it's never as good as you think it is, and it's never as bad as you think it is. And I thought our guys played with a lot of energy. I thought they played with and they competed really well, which is in all areas, which is something as a coach you always look for, especially in your first game, is watching your guys compete. A lot of work's gone into it, which is really encouraging when you're able to see the effort that we gave on that field. We won the turnover margin. We were the least penalized team. We had at least 2 more big plays than the opponent, and that's all part of our keys to victory. And from a defensive standpoint, I was very proud of the relentless pursuit to the ball mentality. We talk about it all the time. It's the most turnovers that I've ever had as a head coach. Creating 5 turnovers, creating 24 points off those turnovers. Obviously the sack and the TD sparked us, got us going, which was great to see. If we can continue to play that way, be aggressive and create turnovers from a defensive standpoint, that you're going to win a lot of ball games here. Our players of the game from defense was Scooter Harris. He had 11 tackles, 7 solos, 1 pass breakup, and 1 forced fumble. Dre Greenlaw played just the first quarter, was on track to probably break most of the records if he had to continue to play in one game, but had 10 tackles and 7 solos just in the first quarter. Santos Ramirez was another player of the game. We had 4 on defense, 6 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 1 pass breakup. And then TJ Smith, I was extremely proud to watch that young man play. 3 tackles and 1.5 tackles for losses. So those were our 4 players of the game. Going back and just watching defensively, obviously we've got to improve. We miss a line too many times, which opened up too many run lanes. We're not, our defense is built to stop the run and create turnovers. And I thought at times that they ran the ball too easy on us. And a lot of that was caused from some of our misalignment. So we got to get aligned and get aligned correctly, get it communicated out on the field to stop the run. But I thought that defense played entirely too many snaps in the first half. They played 46 snaps in the first half compared to offensively played 37 snaps. Now one of those was obviously a penalty. They created an extra set of downs for them, and the other was a defensive score when you're right back out on the field. But 46 snaps is too many, so we gotta correct that. We got to be able to move the football offensively to help that out. From an offensive standpoint, I was proud of the fact that there was no turnovers. We talk about takeaways, no giveaways, and we took the ball away 5 times and did not turn the ball over, and that's always a plus. From a coaching standpoint, you always look at pre-snap penalties, especially in a first game together. There was none of those, and so I thought our communication, getting in and out on the field, and there were no pre-snap penalties. I thought our guys played with good effort, but again, there's some things we got to improve on. But our player of the game was Ty Story. Ty was 12 of 17, 261, 3 TDs, and 1 rushing TD. Ty got in, and it was scripted from the start that he was going to go in on the 4 series, and he went in. The game was still close, and provided a spark. And I've said that from the get-go. It was looking back on Cole Kelly. First of all, I want to commend him being a great teammate. When Ty's time came, and he knew it was the 4 series. And through the time that Ty was on the field, Cole was an incredible teammate. He was encouraging Ty, and was happy for this football team as we were scoring points. Looking at Cole's performance, you know, the situations, the circumstances were different in some areas with Ty and Cole. Cole was 9 of 12. Cole did some really good things, and you know, I'm excited about both of these young men. But we've got to improve from an offensive standpoint, from the run game. You know, there's times we got these guys had it up, but couldn't get anything to break through. You know, we didn't get much push on double teams from up front. I thought we played too high, and I thought at times we played too soft. And so we've got to be better at that. We've got to be better from a coaching standpoint. We've got to be better from a playing standpoint. But we got to be able, when we get on double teams, we got to be able to move double teams and get off to those backers. But that's an area that we'll focus in on this week, and everybody takes accountability on that. But when we did have movement, because there were some good things that these guys did, we were ineffective in trying to find a crease. We were either running into the back of an offensive lineman or trying to get the ball outside. And so, and then when we did have that, and there were several times that the quarterback had a misread on it that would have opened up some runs. I know we had a big play for a perimeter run, and our tight end has him had it up on the outside, and we let the guy fight over the top of us and make a play for a 2-yard gain. So it was in all areas. It wasn't just the O-line. There was a lot of areas right there, from a running back standpoint to quarterback on his reads to tight ends, that we just got to do better. And that's part of your first game. I thought that we played behind the sticks too much. Our lack of efficiency on first down was caused us to be in a lot of second and longs. We had 27 first down opportunities, and 13 of those we were in second and long. And so that's something we've got to get better at. We've got to get better at from a coaching standpoint and a play calling standpoint. We just got to be better all around. And that's something that you look at and you focus on, and you got to be efficient on first down. So again, part of it, that's part of getting better. That's good. That's one of those opportunities you look at it and you go, good, we get a chance to get back out there and improve. You know, this Saturday we're going to plan to play both of these quarterbacks. They'll both play. Ty will get the first team reps starting tomorrow in practice, and we'll reevaluate things as practice goes. But I think Ty's earned that right to start out tomorrow in practice with some first team reps. And just like we did last week, you know, Ty got first team reps at times last week, but Cole got the majority of them last week. This week, Ty will get the majority of them, and we'll make the decision later in the week how we're gonna run this thing out there. But Ty's earned that right now. Special teams. One of our keys to victory is make a positive difference in the special teams. And I've challenged at least 3 battalions to step up and to set the tone and make a difference. And you know, as you look at it, I thought from our field goal standpoint, Connor Limpert going 3 for 3. But you know, you got George Madden, you got Jack Lindsey. You know, the battery, the snap to hold to kick has been phenomenal, and the protection has been extremely well. We also got Jordan Silver in there too to get some backup snaps. I think he snapped 2 times. So I was very pleased with that, and hit all our extra points. So those are key plays. You know, nobody thinks about them until you miss one of them. But those guys did a great job getting the ball down and snapped and held and kicked. Our kickoff coverage unit, we gave up 20 yards a return. You know, and that's something that's got to get better. But again, interesting to see how people play this. You know, sometimes they fair caught it, sometimes that they choose to bring it out. So the message is you got to cover it every time, regardless if it's a high kick, high push kick, deep kick, whatever it may be. You got to cover it like they're going to bring it out. Our kickoff return unit, we were right around the 26-yard average. You know, we had 3 of them that were really close. I thought that we had a chance to really have 3 big plays in this unit. It was just a play here and a play there, letting a guy beat us over the top, and not holding a block long enough. Just a count longer would have definitely kicked it into a bigger play. We had 1 poor return, but was pleased with our kickoff return unit. And I think that'll be a unit that'll continue to improve. Obviously, our punt return was 0 yard. We fair caught those things, or those punts, and that's big. Be able to catch those punts and save field position, but to have Jared back there. Our punt unit, it's got to improve. That's an area that has to improve. We did have 1 really good pooch punt, pinning them inside the 10. And I believe that set up a sack field goal on that, or sack touchdown on that. But our open field punting, we had 1 good one of 45 yards. with a really good hang time, but we had two that were not our standard at all. So we've got to keep pressing these guys, and the message moving forward to this is the season starts tomorrow mentality. I can't wait to get back out on the field as we were last night, correcting some of these mistakes, and get back out on the field tomorrow. And we're playing against a football team that's in Colorado State that I can tell you this, we're going to get their absolute best. These guys are, don't let the record fool you. These guys have, they've lost and playing some really good football teams. Colorado is a very sound football team, is an explosive offensive football team, as I've seen in a while. Coach Bobo is familiar with our conference, being in this conference. He understands what this is about. But this is not a group that we're going to take lightly by no stretch of the imagination. But we're playing against the 13th best passing attack in the nation. They're averaging 44 yards or 44 attempts a game. It's not by accident. Coach Bobo has coached some phenomenal quarterbacks, and so these guys have two phenomenal wide receivers. Williams, a transfer from Tennessee, and Johnson. Both these guys already have 200-plus receiving yards. They're very electric. So we'll have our work cut out for us there. But from a defensive standpoint, they returned six starters, and but they got a lot of guys. They got 9 guys with some major game experience, and we've got to be able to do better. And in the run game, we got to be able to work on the Arkansas Razorbacks, and that's my message to our football team. But we know that this is a football team that we're going into their environment, and their backs against the wall. They're going to be playing hard in front of their home crowd, and especially with an opportunity with us coming in there to see what they can do. So we're fully expecting to get their absolute best. Got great respect for their coaching staff and what they're about and the program they have. And in special teams, we're playing against the nation's leading punter and one of the top return men, Williams, not only just a wide receiver but also a return specialist. So we got our work cut out for us, but as I've said, and I'll continue to say, that this is about the Arkansas Razorbacks, and we got to focus on getting better. And every football team that I've been a part of, you always see great improvement from week 1 to week 2, and I would never expect anything different out of this football team than to go out and get our absolute best this Saturday. Be the best Arkansas Razorback football team that we can be this Saturday. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Hey Chad, there's two things I wanted to get to. Playing at altitude, do you have any experience? What's the game plan? You go out there early and work hard out there one day? And part 2, can you update us on Greenlaw and Ramsey, Cheyenne, and the other 2 suspended guys?
Yeah, as far as altitude, obviously I've gone out there several times, haven't played out there. Talked to plenty of coaches that have played there, and talked to guys that Cortland Sutton that plays for Denver right now. Talked to him, and the biggest thing is that hydrate your guys, make sure everybody's hydrated, hydrate well. To keep from have a tendency to dehydrate in higher altitude, but it's not that much higher. So we're not really not going to make a big deal out of it, outside of the fact that our guys are going to be well hydrated and going out there and worrying about ourselves. We're not going to go out early. We're going to keep the same routine, same schedule. As far as injuries, you will see Ryder Lucas back. You'll see Mike Woods back. Dre Greenlaw will be day-to-day. We'll see how he is. And Randy Ramsey, the same thing, will be day-to-day. And so I believe that's
Cheyenne.
He will be back. Yes.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about tight end usage and how you plan to use them in the following weeks? You didn't use them too much in the receiving game.
No, we actually used them quite a bit Saturday, and they were really involved in the blocking game. A lot of 12 personnel, a lot of 11 personnel. Targeted quite a bit. We actually had a catch early on with I believe Austin caught one early on, and then we targeted several times. Jeremy Patton, which I thought Jeremy did not look himself. He looked slow. Again, coming back off his injury, and had several opportunities to hit him, and missed a couple of throws to him. And then it was good to see Austin Cantrell catching the one down the sideline or across the middle and to go score on. So yeah, I was pleased with the way. Obviously, we got to get better production out of those guys, but overall, they were heavily involved in the game plan.
Chad, was Greenlaw's an ankle? What exactly is the injury?
It is. It's an ankle.
And then obviously you had big games from Jones and Petway. Jared didn't catch a ball. I'm not sure how much he was targeted. Nance had a big play called back. But obviously Jared and Nance are two big play guys for you. What do you need to do to make? Was Ishmael doing some take them away, or what do you got to do to get them more involved?
No, not necessarily. A lot of the rotation, and the way some of the rotation was going. We had two receivers right at 100 yards, so it's one day it may be this receiver, next day maybe the other receiver. I mean that's the glory of this offense is the ball's going to be spread around quite a bit, and but no, it's nothing those guys did. It's just some of the rotation that was in. It was unfortunate that we had the third down call back off the holding, but I was proud to see the plays that when we did have the shots called, the guys that make the plays.
I know Clary came in the second half. Are you going to be doing some kind of reshuffling or evaluating on the left side?
Yeah, we are. We're going to continue to try to bring Ty along and hopefully be able to get him into some of the rotation. Got him in some experience. We'd like to see Austin Capps kind of get in a little bit more this week or get in this week. And so we're really going to try to press those guys this week to see what we can do there.
Coach, will you spend extra time on the running game this week, or is it just kind of business as usual? Or?
Yeah, it'll be business as usual, but we'll definitely spend the time on the areas that we got to improve on. Obviously the double teams, and we got to do a better job of that and movement and pad level, and a lot of that is stuff that we'll rep and we'll practice, and it's stuff we've been practicing. It's just until you get out on the first game, there was a lot of uncertainty, a whole lot of uncertainty, and. So those I've always said you got to worry about yourself, and when you get out there, there's things that happen, and situations, the circumstances dictate how you're going to do things. You're sitting there at second and long, and now you got a decision to make. You were ineffective on first down, and so now are you throwing on second long? How are you trying to get back into manageable distance? But overall, we're going to continue to do what we do. Keep pushing these guys. It's a work in progress.
Secondary play the first game, how did they grade out? And then, as you mentioned, going up against an offense that likes to pass a lot, how you approach this week with those guys?
Well, I think Ryan Pulley was targeted 4 times and made all 4 plays on his side. I thought our secondary play, I thought Cam Curl did some really good things. Obviously, we know that Santos Ramirez, being one of our players of the game, played well. It was good to get some of the 2 freshmen in, both Miles and Joe, getting them some game experience. Chevin Callaway, obviously he gave up 2 big plays, or gave up a big play on that sideline. Actually, 2 big plays over there, but overall played well at times. Was a little inconsistent, but a guy that was a fighter and battled back and caused 2 fumbles, recovered 1. So that was good to see. So we just got to continue to bring that guy along and get some depth in there behind him. But I thought overall, they did some good things that were effective and they were around the ball.
And then going up against that kind of passing offense.
Yeah, I mean, going up against this, we better be on our game. These guys here don't throw it around the yard quite a bit, and we got to be on point. So we all got to improve. I mean, there's no one position that doesn't need to go out and get work in tomorrow. We all have to improve. Everybody, every coach has to improve.
You mentioned tempo on Saturday. The early tempo you didn't like wasn't fast enough. What needs to happen to make that better? And was it a better tempo when Ty came in the game?
Yeah, I thought the tempo was just okay. I really wanted to push it a little bit more than what we did. After looking back at the film, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Of course, the second half dictated, the score dictated a lot of the slowing down of the tempo, but I thought we could have done some things. I think we had 3 3-and-outs, and I think that you snapped the ball 37 times and in the first half, and I think we had a couple 3-and-outs right there. And so any 3-and-out costs you at least 3 plays. So that cost you another. You were on track to snap it 40 times. When Ty came in the game, was the tempo any better? I don't know if it was any better or any worse. I just think that we had some positive yards on first down, and when you're sitting there at second long, you may not be able to play what you want and as fast as what you're thinking.
And I had a question about your second D line. It was Watts and Bell that were in there right on the quarterback on that play, and then Guidry recovered. So You mentioned depth. What did you think about the second D-line?
Well, you know, opportunity to get those guys in there. You know, we got to continue to rotate guys. We got to get guys ready both in the O-line and the D-line, and be able to rotate those guys in there to make plays. It was good to see. Good to see those guys getting in there. Again, a long way to go. A long way to go. And so, but to be able to get game experience and teaching, get things on tape, to get in that film room yesterday and get back out on that field yesterday or last night, and correct some of these mistakes was good to do.
Just assuming that Greenlaw can't play, how do you feel if Bumper Pool starts and also Jordan Jones' overall game? How do you feel?
Yeah, I thought Jordan did some really good things. I think, you know, his speed and is dynamic. He definitely has a chance to take the lid off of it. That was good to see him make some plays out on the edge and catch the deep ball. You know, we'll look at Dre Greenlaw, but I was pleased with watching Bumper Pool. I think he's got a chance to be a really good football player here. Again, a freshman that got misaligned at times, and you know, freshman mistakes. You expect that when you put young kids out there on the field. But you know, my challenge to this football team is let's don't come back in here next Sunday and have to correct the same mistakes that we just made this past Saturday. If we can do that, we can keep getting better. That's all we can ask.
Chad, do you have an update time on Colton Jackson coming back, and also has the decision been made to medically redshirt Jalen Merrick?
Moving forward with Jalen, that is the decision with Jalen. And as far as Colton coming back, we're looking. We hope to. He's ahead of schedule. We hope to have him back. We'll look next week, hopefully.
When you say medically redshirt, do you mean that he's giving up football, or he's just out for this season?
Well, it'll be a medical. So a medical is you're pretty much done with football.
Hey, Coach, on Saturday, press conference, like you mentioned, the number of 15-yard plays that you guys hit in the second quarter. So I guess you guys keep track of that. So is there like an ideal number that you want to hit per game?
Yeah, I mean, we want to definitely, our keys to victory is have at least 2 more big plays than the opponent. Those are plays of 15 or more yards. And, you know, we had 0 in the run game. And you know, we want to have at least 4 in the run game. And, you know, 4 plays of 15 or more yards running the football. And so that's an area we got to hit. We'd love to have 5 or more in the pass game.
Coach, I know you're focused on yourself in Colorado State. I don't want me to take you away from that, but did you have a chance to see what the SEC did this weekend and your thoughts on the conference?
Well, yeah, you know, we saw a chance to see some of the scores. Didn't see many of the games, but you know, the league appears to be, you know, tough again. You know, and so you know, that's how you got to focus on yourself and keep getting better. And you know, as the time will come, we'll get into conference play and be able to talk about each other at that point.
Yeah, Chad, this is going to be Colorado State's 3rd game, and they haven't left their state. They played Friday, so they've had an extra day to get prepared for y'all. Is that an advantage? This is going to be their 3rd game, just your 2nd, and you know, they've had an extra day and you have to travel.
Yeah, you know, I don't know how much of an advantage that is. You know, I've played Thursday night games, Friday night games, and you know, I think if anything, it probably gives you an advantage as a coaching staff that you kind of get to step back, step away from it, and clear your mind and for a day, and then come back in on Sunday and start game planning. But I think, you know, not leaving their state, and they've had an opportunity to play right there, you know, right around their place, and you know, we've got to travel. It'll be our first, so there's a lot of firsts that we've got to go through, and so that's you know, I think that's something that we've got to get on point with that and how we're traveling, and you know, making sure that we take care of our own business.
Any more questions for Coach? Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Hold on, Bob. We got one more.
All right.
Yeah, you mentioned Mike Bobo. I just wonder if you've ever met him. Do you know him? And he obviously had some health issues, but he's back on the sideline. Just wonder what you think about that.
Yeah, I've known Coach for quite some time. You know, we played against him when I was at Clemson, and recruited against him, and being in the same area he was, and know him, and met him several times, and you know, consider him you know, very well respected in this profession, and have been following, you know, his health issues, and since he went in the hospital, and you know, wish him the best and his family, and you know, it was good to. I know he was in the press box in the first game, and on the sidelines last week, and you know, I know he's excited to be back out there with his team, and I'm sure his team's excited to have him back out there on the sidelines as well.
Thanks, sir.
All right, thank you.